There you go, bros. This is Arb, and we're just talking about anger because when I first, well, I've known Arb forever, but when we were younger, sometimes, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but sometimes, particularly when he's driving his car, he'd get really pissed off. Like someone would be in front of him in the traffic and
Weren't
wouldn't
going
go.
fast enough.
You used to really lose it, bro. I used to too. Different things. I've already talked about my anger on the channel, but I just want Arb to cast it because he's not at all angry today, and he's
There's still a little bit possibly there, but it's dealt with differently nowadays
not
too.
like he used to be, mate.
No, there was a blind rage which would happen in the past, and a lot of that now, I guess, we were just briefly talking about it, is that I'm more honest with myself about what I'm feeling. Well, in the past, I used to use drugs when we were younger. It's mainly smoking marijuana was the big thing. So it would suppress it. So if you're a bit angry and you'd have a joint, then all of a sudden it was water off a duck's back, and you were chilling. But never dealt with the problem that actually was the reason why I was angry. So it would just sit there in the back, and then it would probably be brought up again in a similar situation.
Yeah.
And you hadn't dealt with it, so it just gets magnified every time you come across that feeling, But I guess as I've got older, I've also asked myself what I actually want to do with life. Like I don't like that feeling of anger because it makes you feel tight. You're tight in your guts, and your head's kind of tight too. And sometimes, like when you split the dummy to the extent that I used to, it would be exhausting. It'd be really quite exhausting. You'd be so tense, just going fuck, and you want to throw something, and it's just like, oh, Jesus! It's almost
You used to
like,
make a lot of noise too.
no, a lot of noise. Yeah,
He'd be like, fuck, you fuck. He'd be really letting it out, which is a good thing because he was getting it out. But man, you were vocal and it sounded really cool. But really, like, I used to crack up. I used to sometimes think, I can't wait till Arb gets angry because it's fucking funny. But I did, especially in your car. Like he used to have this V8. He had this awesome
Holden Monaro.
Monaro, and it used to sound like. Can you make the Holden Monaro sound? There we go.
Yeah,
That's the
throw
one,
it to your hands, yeah.
Fuck, it sound like it. We go off the surfboards on the roof, have Pink Floyd playing, we'd all be token up large. Yep. All the time, but then the next day, that Monaro, man, if he lost it, and your foot on the accelerator was scary because you'd...
I was meant to go fast, so I didn't like it when I was held up by Morris 1100 or something.
Yeah. Get off the road, you fucking bitch! Get off the fucking road! So you don't... I haven't seen you... You say you still get angry, but I haven't seen it, and you've had reasons around here while you're working on my place building. Things have gone probably not quite perfect.
Yeah, well,
you don't blow your stack, so what's the difference? What's changed?
Well, there's obviously wisdom comes into it, and then when you get wiser, you realise that it's not a big deal, A, and B, you just want to deal with it. And I must admit that after having... I had open heart surgery. So after open heart surgery, I wasn't in a rush to drive everywhere anymore. Like I chilled out because I realised that it didn't matter so much. And then I'm driving out to your place when I'm working out here. There's a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And I just shrugged my shoulders with what's going on. I might be 2 minutes later or 3 minutes later. It's like, who cares? So that's wisdom. And when I was younger, I used to think that anger was power, that was your power. And I used it that way, to get things done, especially in the building game. You had to get... When I was an apprentice, I worked for a large company, and they'd go, oh, yeah. And I'd get my work finished, and they go, what do you want me to do? And they go, oh, boy, take that bunch of acro props, those steel things they put in your garage. Take that whole pack of acro props up to the 5th floor, because we did commercial work, and it'd be just like, right! And I'd be carrying 3 on my shoulders, and I'd be running up the stairwell. Fuck, I'll get it fucking done all right. And then I'd get them done, and I'd go, right, I've done that. What do you want me to do now? And they go, oh, why don't you give me a carpentry job instead of a labouring job? And they go, oh, well, he's a pretty good worker, that boy. So then I'd get better jobs than a lot of the other apprentices.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't understand that was actually the way I operate. That's my attitude. But understanding that the anger wasn't my real power was an interesting thing that came with experience too. And then it was like, oh, actually, I can have power and I can be reasonably calm. And I can still have the same power.
Well, you do now.
Yeah, so that's part of it too. So honestly, you could say I grew out of it.
You grew out of it, yeah.
That's what it would have to be. My life experiences allowed me to see things that made me realise that all it did was give me more grief. Like it created stress in my body as well as my head that sometimes, like I say, I'd be completely exhausted because I'd been angry for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not even that exhausted when I go ride my mountain bike for 2 hours now. So it's like, and that's a hell of a lot of fun. So I just think, you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself what you want to feel.
Oh. Bloody good. Thanks, Arb, for sharing. That's on anger. We're just chilling, catching up. He's up here to measure my flashings that need to go around my chimneys because a bit of water's coming through before we finish the kitchen in the old farmhouse. This is probably one of the slower jobs you've worked on because I'm not in too much of a hurry, but it's
I've got so much stuff going that I juggle it up and down that it works fine.
yeah, bro. Well,
Yeah.
I'm chill with it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Hey, go steady, guys. See you later. Yeah.
Okay, I will go. I'll carry on.
Okay, mate. Good
Yeah.
to see you.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah.